Econometrics is very fun. I was gonna make some sort of joke and say, like, yeah, they give you candy after every single exam, but that's not true. They give you a panic attack after every single exam, but it's actually a good thing, and you might be wondering why or how that could ever be considered a good thing. And it's because you're doing something real. Okay, I have a quote here that, I guess not a quote, but it's what econometrics is. Econometrics enables researchers to test the predictive and explanatory power of economic models against real world data, thereby bridging the gap between theoretical constructs and observed behavior. This is really important. This is super important, especially when economics is so theoretical and kind of nebulous in its current state. I feel like we're just given so many formulas, okay? We're given so many formulas and very little explanation of how they came to be. That's why I've been so obsessed recently. I've been reading a textbook called, apparently not that. Sorry, y'all. I've been reading a textbook called like Analysis of Conflict. And I found it quite enlightening because it actually goes through like where some of these models come from, where like the behavioral side, it's like a game theory. Game theory. Jesus Christ. Theory. It talks about kind of just where they're coming from, I guess is my point. Goes through you're going to want to know like a little bit of set theory. You're going to want to know a little bit of notation before you get stuck into it. I made a couple videos getting stuck on the notation because I think that's funny. But I thought this was important, man. I thought this was important. Like, they just throw the Cournot at you. They just throw it at you. They're like, oh, here's the Bertrand, here's the Stackelberg, here's the this and the that, and here's your other stuff. Enjoy. And I am enjoying. Like, I still think it's fun, but it's super important, at least I believe, to know where you're coming from. Like, I always felt like diagrams were helpful, if we were doing like, triangle stuff. It helped to see what they were talking about. And I feel like with economics, we're just given this model, this like utility of something, and it's some abstract whatever, blah, 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 blah. You get what I mean? And it's like, okay, well, that's just given to us. But how did we derive that? Like, how do we come to this conclusion? And I guess maybe econometrics isn't going to help you out so much with that, because it's after you've already came to that conclusion, you want to test if it's even a good one. And so that's what econometrics is about. You're like, well, does this model actually work? And again, machine learning for economics and finance, as an extension of this, it's kind of like you can do stochastic gradient boosting, random forest, leaky Rayleigh. It's one of my favorite words. But anyway, my point is, econometrics is fun, not because it's easy, but because it actually vindicates your crazy ideas. It could help you solidify an idea. Here's your to-do list. There's your to-do list. Learn some econometrics and learn some machine learning. And then get back to me. Because I don't want to do the econometrics parts of my papers. And if you learn it, then I'll get you to do it instead.